Video numero dos. How do we do this? Again, when they give you something like this, what you're going to do is you take your equation. This is called rational function, by the way. A rational function is this. Another word that I would like to add is this. Vertical asymptote can also be another word that they tend to use for it. Could be like a discontinuous or discontinuity. Just FYI, if they ask you what's the discontinuity, they're just asking you what's the vertical asymptotes. Remember that, because there's a question like that on your quizzes. All right, so we're going to take this, we're going to graph it. So you go to your Desmos. You can just click X to get rid of your previous stuff. And we say it'll be 1, I believe you just put the dividing button. You put X, I believe it's +4. All right, here goes our graph. You can zoom in or you can zoom out. You can move it to the right. You can move it to the left. Whichever you want to do, you go ahead. All right, so now let's identify our asymptotes. So on the, it looks like for the horizontal, which is a flat line, and look at that, it still doesn't cross the, when y is at 0, right? It's flattened right there. Because if I move further to the left, notice it never crosses the other line. Same thing. So all you have to do, you go back here. You say that your y equals, the horizontal is always y equals is 0, and then you graph it over here. Boom, call it H8. All right, let's go see if we can identify the vertical asymptote. But before we do that, I want to point out something. I didn't do that last video because we're trying to connect the dots. Look right here. That's X plus 4. Let's see, if I just look at that, could that tell me what is the vertical asymptote? It could be something with the 4. Let's go find out. All right, so here we are, right? And notice it looks like it doesn't cross the -4. It does not cross the -4, right? It just doesn't cross the -4. So when X is -4, so you go back here, you said X is 4. But look at the, how was I able to determine that? Sometimes you can bypass decimals. X plus 4, then your vertical asymptote would be the opposite. You with me? If it was X plus 5, it'll be, oh, did we say -4? -4, that's my fault, -4. So always the opposite. All right, so let's go ahead and graph it. 1, 2, 3, -4. Boom. Before I even do that, do we do it the same thing here? Look, you see how this is X minus -2? Then opposite of -2 was +2. So I hope you can connect the dot with that, right? All right, so let's put the graph. The graph looks like a bunch of zigzags, but it never crosses the asymptote. So boom, 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 boom. All right. So now let's put a thing for domain and range. The domain cannot be the -4. It cannot be -4, meaning it can be anything except -4. It can go from -infinity all the way to 4, but you put parentheses because it cannot be -4. And I meant to say -4. And it goes from -4 all the way to infinity. The range cannot be 0. It can be anything on the y except 0. So started at the bottom, -infinity goes to 0. Does not include 0. That's when I'm using parentheses. And you say, and it goes from 0 to infinity. Are you with me? No, you are. As far as the table, you do the same thing, okay? So the table, you just go right here, you click on setting, and then you click on table, and then you plug in your numbers, just like I did earlier, that you should be good to come up with these numbers, okay? All right, that concludes video 2. We're going to do another example will be for video 3.